that version of the team shows up this weekend, do they move on?
Yeah, I believe so. And I absolutely think so. And it won't be easy. Like I said, like this team throughout the SEC.
All right, everybody, welcome into the TexAgs Rewind. We're outside of the Rollo Insurance Studio. David had to hit the road, get out of Tuscaloosa as quickly as he could. I don't blame him. This Rewind's presented by Specs. I got the whole crew behind me here. We'll be quick with it today. We got OB and Nuño on the go hour. We had Ryan Brauninger on a mobile talking about the super regional matchup with Oregon, the baseball bunch, more like two guys in one desk. That was Richard Zane and Scott Clendenin. And then we had, of course, TexAgs co-owner, executive editor, Billy Liucci in studio, breaking it all down. Here's the rewind.
What are you banking on, Olin?
Well, I'm banking on the Aggies to win this this super regional, and to do so, I'm banking on the pitching to be the Texas A&M pitching to be even better than what they're going to see from Oregon. They're going to be better than their counterpoints. I'm banking on continued excellence from Prager and Sadeo and Cortez and Ossenbeck and company.
Okay. Well, I'm going to geo-target somebody, all right?
All right.
I'm going Caden Sorrell again, all right?
Great.
Couple of homers.
A number 8
plus,
hitter?
Yeah. And a guy who's going to, again, because he does this every weekend, so I'm not really banking on anything that we didn't expect, some defensive gems out there at left field that we're going to be like, oh, there's another Caden Sorrell moment. I'm banking on Caden Sorrell making another appearance like we saw last week.
He's so good, man. Anything hit out in left field, unless it clears the wall, and again, even then he might get it because he's done that before. He's robbed guys from home runs. Is that not the perfect outfielder?
Yeah.
Or perfect left fielder, because you got about a perfect right fielder as well.
Yeah, and the perfect center fielder.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
really do.
So, yeah,
man, a team like that ought to be in the super regionals.
You know how Ryan Prager has matched the energy and the pitching efficiency of the last couple of opponents he's gone against, right? Here's what I say about that. He's not going to do it this time.
No, he's going to be better.
He's going to be better, and I'm hoping, I'm not saying I'm banking on it, but I'm banking on the Oregon starting pitcher on Saturday at 1 o'clock to not be as good as Prager. So where Prager's just going to be elite, and I'm banking on a lot of pitches and getting him that starting pitcher out before the third or fourth inning.
Hey, I want to see home runs. I want to see bats hitting with guys on, and I want to see the A&M batters be real patient.
Ronnie, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think part of that answer from Schloss was when I asked about Gavin Grohovic. And I love the way he answers questions too, because it's the quality of the at-bats, right? Like, yeah, Gavin struck out quite a few times, but he did finish with the home run. It wasn't the home run, it was the quality of the at-bats. So tell me a little bit about what you saw offensively from Gavin and others beyond. I know you just broke down Jace to make you feel like the offense is going in that right direction.
Well, you look at the Texas game too, so it was only 4 runs total, but I mean, Teddy Burton hits 2 balls to the absolute tips of the warning track, Jackson Appel as well. And, on a normal June day, those are clear homers, and it looks way different in terms of run outputs against Texas. And Hayden Schott getting going in that finale after a rough night, and the quality of contact that Gavin made to start the game. Like, I just thought I saw the offense in general start producing better at bats, more quality at bats, probably from like the 7th inning on of that Texas game throughout the end of the regional. And I'll tell you what, like, what's getting overlooked in all this is Caden Kent came off the bench and had a really quality at bat late in that Texas game. I think he ended up striking out, but he got the 2 strikes and he battled. And from there on, I thought the at bat started to get better and better and better. And then obviously in the finale, like I said, 9 runs probably doesn't do justice the quality of contact and the quality of at bats they were having.
Hey, Ronnie, let me close out with this. What do you think the key to this weekend is? Give me a couple keys for A&M to move on to Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, just playing their characteristic selves. Like, I don't think they need to go out and be anybody different. There's going to be times where they're going to be challenged this weekend. I don't think there's any question about that. Oregon is a quality club with quality athletes and quality players. They've recruited really well up there. But A&M is the more talented team. Now, it's not about the best team. It's about the team that plays the best. So A&M just going in and being comfortable in their home atmosphere and not making it too much of them, making too much out of the situation. And if they do that, if they control their own heart rate and their own mind, I think they're going to be in a good spot.
And I think that is a benefit to the league you play in. For a long time, we saw that the Arizona State and USC teams were a drag on A&M's RPI. They started playing better baseball the second half of the year and, moved up in the standings in the Pac-12 and were similar to what they would normally be conference standing-wise. So, but UCLA wasn't as good this year. USC was still in the doldrums. Stanford was down. Arizona State was middle of the pack.
Who A&M beat twice. Oregon didn't have to play.
And then you have Arizona, who did not have a good regional. So, I look at SEC competition and battle hard against that. Up until this point in time, A&M has had the advantage playing against a tougher schedule.
West Coast overseeding. When's the Arizona game this weekend?
Not playing.
Yeah. Thoughts on that? A&M. This what didn't scare me about the regional is the same thing that doesn't scare me about the super regional is that A&M has played significantly better ball clubs than the one they're going to see this weekend. They played significantly better ball clubs than any of the three that were here last weekend. And that's a testament to playing in the SEC and the meat grinder of the schedule that it truly is, because until they get to Omaha, until they have to face off against a team like Tennessee or Kentucky, they're not going to see a team on this path to the road to Omaha that is anything like anybody they've seen in a conference schedule. And with so many conference series victories coming over teams like Arkansas and Mississippi State, I know they didn't play their best baseball against Florida or against LSU or Ole Miss, but they've won so many other conference series, South Carolina, stuff like that. That should give A&M confidence because they know what it's like to go through these action-packed, tightly contested, hard-fought series.
Well, and here's the thing, Billy. If the A&M team that we saw this past weekend against Texas, against Louisiana, against Grambling, if that team, that version of the team shows up this weekend, do they move on?
Yeah, I believe so. And I absolutely think so. And it won't be easy. Like I said, this team throughout the SEC, for as many times as we've seen them flex their muscles, more often than not, they've had to win close games that hinge on one swing, one inning, one mistake by the opponent you capitalized on, one relief appearance. Like the series in these 2-1 series oftentimes has swung on that. So it's not like A&M just ran roughshod through the SEC. And this Oregon team is talented enough to be looked at as kind of an SEC team. Now, they're not a Tennessee or even though they're out of it, they're not an Arkansas. They're not, but that's an SEC caliber baseball team, just like Stanford was last year. Again, I don't think you'd have said that about UCSB. We didn't say that about Fullerton last year, but this team, I think you can say that about. So they're tough and they're coming in. That team you could drop them into the ACC or the SEC, and they'd be perfectly competitive. Would they be at the top? No, they'd be perfectly competitive. And A&M's played teams that are perfectly competitive in this league this year in best out of threes, where they've won it, like I said, by the narrowest of margins, or even lost it when you look at I think LSU's better, but LSU and Ole Miss. And then there's several of them, the South Carolinas, the Alabamas, the Georgias. I think Georgia's better, but South Carolina, Bama, Ole Miss, those are those teams where they've won by the narrowest of margins to win the series anyway.
All right, everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to show up to Olson, pack Olson, beat the hell out of the Ducks. Thank you.